let's go.
Here we go. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so. Look at your neighbor now. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. Now we are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright.
All right. So, you get to dim your lights a little bit. Oh, I didn't mean those lights, but you could do that too. And we have the beloved Sharonda that's going to do our meditation today.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy holidays. It's my pleasure this morning to be your practitioner and lead us in a time of reading, do a few moments of meditation, and I'll bring you out with a prayer. So if you're comfortable, just close your eyes and take in these words from our founder, Ernest Holmes. He says, "The will of life has only to be life. The will of that which is infinite can never be finite. Everything then should tend to expansion and multiplication in the divine plan. That is the will of God. It has to be beauty, truth, and harmony. Therefore, we should interpret the will of God to be everything that expresses life without hurt. Anything that would enable us to express greater life, greater happiness, greater power, so long as it does not harm anyone, must be the will of God for us. As much life as one can conceive will become a part of his experience." life, life, the will of God, life. How grateful I am right here, right now, to stand and know that this power, this presence, life, God itself, the Alpha, the Omega, that Christ consciousness, that which is breathing me right here in this now moment. Grateful to know that right here as I stand, that there's a power, a presence that is never an absence, that is actually happening right here, called Om. And that each and every beloved sitting in this sanctuary is actually one with this beloved presence that I know and choose to call God. And how grateful it is to be here and to know that we have been led here on divine purpose, that it is God itself leading, moving, and having its beingness in, through, and as us on this high holy day. As we celebrate this Christmas season, these holidays, this Christ consciousness, this light, this inner light, we just know that it's God itself. I'm grateful to know that right here, right now, that everything is unfolding so magnificently, so purposely, so on point, on time. For the magnificence of Martin, for the magnificence of all of the volunteers that it took to absolutely have this beautiful, radiant sanctuary, for the magnificence of the Master Joe Rathburn, and for the wisdom, the intelligence that's about to be displayed and powerfully spoken by Mary, and the gratitude I have in my heart for the yes of Reverend Dr. Suzette Wehunt. We are seated here this morning on divine purpose. So I'm grateful, I'm thankful that we're all here right now to celebrate this magnificent, wonderful, high holy Sunday. So grateful and thankful, and join me as we know this together and as family. And so it is.
Wow. I love it. High Holy Sunday. Isn't that great? So we have the beloved. He's my beloved anyway. How many years have we known each other? Many.
Quite a few.
Probably about 20 or more, maybe.
Who's telling?
Oh, okay. Mr. Joe Rathburn. Let's give him a hand.
All right.
Drops and roses, whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles, warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies, crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. raindrops and roses and whiskers on kittens, white copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things: cream-colored ponies, crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things: girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things: when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, then I don't feel so bad. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, in all those years, whose ring is that?
A wedding.
Wedding ring. Oh, I love it. It's beautiful. All right. You're precious. You're precious. All right. So it always pleasures me, makes me really, really happy when I'm associated with people that really want to grow. I mean, that's our purpose here. And the person that's speaking today is one of those individuals who, I won't say how long we've known each other, it's a long time. And we've done a lot of different things together. And she's raised 3 children on her own, pretty much, right? Yep. And I just admire those that work through life issues, because I think that we have to learn how to prioritize. We have to learn how to function with all the dysfunction, yeah? And we have to allow for the growth. And I'm just pleased that, in fact, Mary had decided at one point, with some support, to drop out of ministerial school until the time was right. And so she's now back into ministerial school, which I'm just so excited for her. And I'm excited for us because she brings vibrancy, she brings truth, she works the principles, she does all this stuff for us, and you would never know it except by how she explains life to us. So I want to give a really, really, really big welcome to Mary Lawrence Hard, my beloved.
Good morning. Does anybody know what today is? The solstice. That's right, the winter solstice. And there was a different title for the talk today, and I asked Reverend Suzette if we could change it, and she humored me. She said yes. So the title of the talk today is Awakening the Inner Light. And it's an inner light that no darkness can diminish. And today is the longest night as we await the unfolding of the light. And sometimes we call it the shortest day of the year. And it's not really, there's no less than 24 hours in the day. It's just the day where there's less daylight than any other days of the year. And the actual solstice happens just in a moment. And the solstice happened this morning at 7:03 a.m. Some of you may have been awake. I was snoozing my alarm at the time, but I was up shortly after that. And I love to think that here we are in the northern hemisphere celebrating the winter solstice, the longest night. And on the other side of the globe, they're celebrating the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. My oldest daughter was born on June 21st, And I can tell you at 26 hours of labor, that was the longest day of the year for me that year. I once flew into Portland, Oregon, and it was a beautiful sunny day. I forgot the cordless mic, so I'm sort of tethered here, and I feel like I want to move. But so I once flew into Portland, and it was this beautiful sunny day until we descended through the clouds, where it was a cold and wet day. And I realized that the sun is always shining. The sun is always shining, and it just depends on what our perspective is. What we see depends on what side of the world we are looking at. And the solstice is a turning point. It's a time of reflection and rest and going within as we await the gradual return of the longer days and the light. It's already happening. It's after 7:03 a.m., so it's already happening. The light is emerging. And Joe song. So this is Stonehenge and Newgrange. Stonehenge in England and Newgrange in Ireland. And both of these monuments were built in ancient times. And it's said that they used these as a way to sort of track the calendar. And even to this day, there are celebrations of the winter solstice and the summer solstice at these monuments. And just as with many spiritual principles, anticipating the return of the light while honoring the darkness is kind of a paradox. Seems like a lot of spiritual principles are paradoxes, where at first glance they don't appear to be congruent, but when you sort of look a little deeper, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They do go together. I'm looking at the coexist logo on our window here, and the yin and yang symbol is the S. It's the darkness and the light coming together. And within the dark is a spot of light, and within the light is a spot of dark. Darkness is not the enemy of the light. Darkness is the womb of the light. We teach that life is always moving and growing and expanding, and spirit is eternally creative. Even when it appears that there's contraction going on, which is what's happening right now, feels like there's a contraction that we've been pulling back as it gets dark earlier and earlier and earlier. I know I turn around and just go, what? It's only 6 o'clock and it's pitch black outside, Something holy is quietly unfolding underneath. I recently heard a story about the bamboo farmer. I don't know if anybody here has heard this story. There was a man who had been farming in his small rural town, and they had sort of their traditional crops. And he sort of got this angst that he wanted more for himself and his family. He wanted something different. So he started researching the climate and the soil and the tools that he would need and what would be ideal in that space. And so he decided to plant bamboo. And when he told the community what his plans were, they were like, "You're crazy. This is what we've always done. That's not going to work. You're just spinning your wheels." And so the farmer was undeterred. He remained steadfast in his desire. So in the spring, when it came time to plant, he sowed the soil. He planted the bamboo seeds, and he, did everything that he was supposed to do with them. And the growing season came and went that year, and nothing. While all the community was harvesting their harvest, there was nothing. Undaunted, he continued. He continued to till the soil just regularly, just day after day. He tilled the soil. The following year, nothing. The community had a great harvest, and he had nothing. And he was ridiculed, but he remained steadfast and dedicated to this bamboo. The third and fourth years, he continued to believe and continued to till the soil, and there was nothing. And then in the fifth year, he woke up one day, and he saw not only had the bamboo sprouted, but it had grown a foot. And by the end of the season, he had a bamboo forest. So not only had they sprouted and grown, but the growth continued. And what was happening? What was happening all that time? The bamboo was establishing a root system. If anybody's had bamboo in your yard or your garden, it appears very invasive because it establishes such a good root system. And when it sprouts, but it's in that incubation period. They were laying the foundation silently underneath the surface until they were strong enough to support, what manifested that year and for many years to come. And many of you know that I'm in recovery, and the story reminds me of something that someone said. I remember it sitting in a 12-step meeting, and this old broad, she said, "Don't leave 5 minutes before the miracle happens." I had no idea what the heck she was talking about. I was just like, whatever. And I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. And I've been doing that for over 30 years in recovery. I've been in Science of Mind for over 25 years. Just putting one foot in front of the other. And at some point, I looked back and I realized that miracles had been happening all along for me. That my life got better, that I stayed sober. And my life continues to get better. And I expect miracles to happen in my life today. God's calling. And in the darkness is where the potential lies. I don't know if it's lies or lay. I should have used grammar check, whatever. But in the darkness, in the stillness, is where the potential is. Wallace Wattles, in The Science of Getting Rich, he said, the universe is made of formless stuff. He said, there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in these substances produces the thing that is imagined by this thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon the formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. And this was written in 1910. So on one hand, it's very profound. On the other hand, please pardon the masculine pronouns. It seemed a little bit too complicated to try to, modernize it. But I love that idea, and some of you may have heard me in my prayers. I often say it permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe, because that just speaks to me. And in my mind, I just go out into the cosmos with that and just think about everything is pure potential, just laying and waiting for us to speak our heart's desire into it. What is it that we want to cultivate in our lives? And that is the how. We speak it into existence. And I like how he talks about it, you know, if there was a need for me to create a piano right now, that Spirit could do that. Spirit could create whatever, could manifest gold or whatever we need in the moment. And that's what we call miracles, right? When the laws of physics are suspended. But usually, Spirit works through the accepted means of creation and manifestation, right? The tree grows, we chop the tree down, we use the wood, all the things. And I remember before we had to let go of our home to a short sale in 2009, and before we filed for bankruptcy, I remember folding clothes, doing laundry, and I may have been in practitioner training at the time. It was right around that time. It was right after, because I became a practitioner in 2008. So right after that, I was folding clothes, my kids' little clothes. They were so cute. And I remember thinking, if I could only have this amount of money, everything would be fine. And so this is, 27 years later? I'm not that great at math. 26 years later. And I looked at my retirement account. I have that amount of money in my retirement account. I mean, I don't have the cash in my pocket. I'm not out like making it rain, but I have that amount of money in my retirement account. So it didn't happen overnight. And as you can sort of infer from my story, a lot happened. You know, we went down, 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 and, you know, I clawed my way back up. So it didn't happen overnight. But I had set that intention and then just allowed it to unfold as I just put one foot in front of the other. And so in the stillness and the dormancy of the darkness, that is where the seeds of our intention just germinate and sprout. It waits for us to speak into it. Like I said, what we want to cultivate, what we want to grow in our lives. And so many of us, as we are approaching the end of the year, looking towards next year, looking forward to next year, and looking back on this year, we sort of contemplate what this year has been. Several years ago, my intention, my New Year's resolution, or whatever you want to call it, was to grow and learn. And I was like, I don't want to go back to school, done with school. But I just wanted a way to continue to just expand. And so I thought, I want to watch some YouTube videos about things that I find interesting. And I don't think I did it in the first year. But the next year I remembered, oh yeah, that was my intention. You know, by June, I've completely forgotten what I said in January. But the next December, I went, oh yeah. So I drive a lot. And so I started listening to podcasts on YouTube. I can't watch them because I'm driving, but when I leave the house, I'm like, okay, I have an hour drive or I have a 2-hour drive, and I'll find a podcast that's about that length, and I'll put it on and then listen to it. And I've been averaging for like the last three to 4 years, I've been averaging about 15 hours a week of YouTube podcasts driving. So many of us come to this place with unmet expectations, and we carry this inner winter into this season. We didn't do our resolutions. We have unanswered prayers. Maybe there was a transition that we didn't expect. Maybe our grief is not progressing on the timeline or the schedule that we think it should. We might have delayed dreams. Maybe we're in the process of healing. And yet Spirit whispers, nothing real is ever lost. Nothing sacred is ever wasted. The light we await is not coming from somewhere else. It is emerging from within the darkness where we stand. We are reminded that consciousness precedes experience. The outer world mirrors our awareness of what we put into it. So the question is not, how do I escape the darkness? The question is, who am I becoming while I wait? The solstice teaches us that the return of light is not optional. It's the law. It doesn't depend on your mood, doesn't require effort. It is woven into the fabric of the universe. Even when we feel still, something is turning. When we feel lost, something is remembering us. If we feel forgotten, we are embraced, we are held. The light does not argue with the darkness. The light comes in and the darkness reorganizes itself around the light. To await the light is not to sit in despair. It is to stand in expectancy. The beautiful truth of the winter solstice is by the time we notice the darkness has peaked, the light has already begun its return. So the invitation for the coming week is not only to celebrate these festivals of light, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever, or the New Year, but to consider, who are you becoming in this time? Who do you want to become? And what is the next greatest version of the grandest vision ever you held about yourself? So I know Reverend Suzette has some fun things planned for the last service of the year, for the new year. So I want you to start this week to prepare yourself for that time and for that celebration. Sit in the stillness and reorganize yourself around the light. So let's pray. So I'm just breathing into this moment as the earth has fully inhaled and just is slowly beginning to exhale. I just allow the breath of life to move through me, to flow through me, to live as me. I just know that the presence of Spirit is right here, right now, experiencing and expressing itself in all the activities of this day, the joyful exchange of gifts and the sharing of food and nourishment and just the love and camaraderie that this community just exudes and has for one another. I know that the technology is just handled, that Martin just so expertly just turns all the buttons and the knobs and clicks the links, and it all just magically happens. It appears to be a miracle, but I know it is just Spirit in action. I know that Joe Rathburn just shares his amazing talents. I'm so grateful to be here and just experience and just celebrate this life. So I know that as we come together on this day to celebrate, that this just lifts our energy, and we take this energy out into the world and we just spread it around. We just spread that stuff around. And so I'm grateful to be here, and for each one who is here today. I know that we are each blessed, that we are each blessings in the lives of those that we touch. And so just knowing that there's a joy, there's an abundance, there's great, amazing health and healing, and just all the good things of God, the beauty, the power, everything is just unfolding in this amazing time of year, this magical time. And so as I speak my word, I just release it into the law, knowing the law says yes, 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 yes. It's like a giant yes machine. And so I just call it forth into being, saying, let it be done, let it be made manifest in the lives of each one here and all those that we come in contact with. I say it is good, I declare it done, and so it is.